welcome to TRS. We are live. There's a little kind of game. We've never done this before. We're kind of working our way through it, where we're going to show you a picture of a production you've been in, something you've done. And can you just give us your stream of thought, first memory, or something you've always wanted to talk about, but interviewers have never asked you about? So I'm going to let Josh roll these up. Sanity.
Oh my God! Look at that picture. That's actually the first feature film I directed, and it's called Land of Smiles. That picture is taken in Thailand, and what I'm actually doing.
Did have two names.
Yeah. Sanity was the original name that my distributor said was the most crazy, the most ridiculous idea for a title he'd ever heard. That movie we shot in New York for 6 days, and then we went to Thailand and guerrilla shot the movie. And every time somebody questioned what we were doing, we just told them it was the YouTube. And they're like, "Oh, I love the YouTube." And I was like, "Great. That's fantastic. You want to be?" And then I actually had on my iPad, I had a release, and I said, "Do you want to be in the movie?" And they're like, "Yes." And then I had them sign the thing, and then they were, or not the movie, in the YouTube, and then they would sign it, and they would be in the movie. There must be 200 people, 200 Thai people in the movie that just wanted to be on the YouTube.
Yeah, they thought you were Logan Paul, and they just signed up immediately and just.
All right, let's go to the next one. Crawlspace.
Oh God, go good. That's from a movie. Sorry, bad joke. Bad joke.
Great.
This is from Crawlspace, which was my first thought when I see this picture is I did my callback for this movie, which was called a chemistry read with another actor they were going to hire from a campground in South Lake Tahoe. And I was camping with my family. I got a call that I had this thing. I went to the lodge. I told the people at the lodge I was an actor, and I had this weird situation where I needed to do a Zoom callback. This was COVID and all this. And I said, "Can I rent a room for an hour where you have internet?" And they said no, and they just gave it to me for an hour. It was amazing.
Oh, nice.
So I did I did that from lodge. When I started the first scene the very first time, it cut out, recycled, and I went back on about 10 minutes later, and they put me to the end of the line. So it ended up being a whole thing. Oh, I had to tell you the second story. This is great. I was in the third scene, and I had told my wife, bring the bottle of whiskey from the camper, from the Volkswagen van, because in the third scene, I'm supposed to take a tug off the bottle. And I said, but make sure you put the whiskey in a glass and just bring me the bottle, and I'll fill it up with water. She goes, no problem. So I'm in there trying to set it up, and everything becomes really chaotic. Anyway, of course, you already know what's going to happen. She didn't empty the bottle. I'm in the middle of the third scene in the audition, and I'm going, and my character's nuts, obviously. And I just grab the bottle, rip the top off, and I'm in my head, I'm like, this is real whiskey. Oh, shit. And I was like, just threw it back, came off that bottle breathing fire, and I was like, and I put the top back on it, the scene ends. And I was like, because they'd had me do every scene multiple times. And my first thought was, man, this is going to become real interesting on take 3 if they make me keep going. And sure enough, I did it. And the director and the producers were like, no, man, that was intense. That was awesome. We're good. We don't need to see that again. And I was like, thank God.
Yeah.
It's going to get real ugly after my third take and pounding the straight. It was, what was it, Maker's Mark or something? I don't even know. Oh, my God.
Oh, I'm a bourbon guy, so love it.
Yeah.
I can imagine he's like, it looked like that was really alcohol in there. You're such a good actor. You're like, I am.
I mean, it's right. They must have been like, do you believe how real that looked? And I was like, man, it did look real. And matter of fact, I had such a good time I did that. And then by the time I got back to the campsite, I got a phone call that they really liked me. So, I mean, I just turned that buzz into a nice night. You know what I mean? And I just kept going because I had something to celebrate. So there you go.
If it worked, keep doing it.
Hell yeah.
All right, let's go to the next one. What do we got? Dangerous Game. You already mentioned a little bit about Voight.
This one was interesting because I didn't audition for this part. The same producers as Crawlspace. They just called me and asked me if I wanted to play John Voight's butler. And so I said, sure. I read the script. I was like, this is quite interesting. My first thing I'd say for this is really interesting for the research I had to do to play a butler, because my character was in a lot of scenes, but he didn't say a lot. And so my job as an actor was a lot about behavior. And one of the most interesting things I discovered about a butler is when they stand, their hands are supposed to be like this, peeled back like this, neck by their sides. Like, if you will, I'll show you.
No.
Like this. And the reason is it's this thing about until you're called to action, you're supposed to be kind of like lying in wait until you're ready to go. And I was like, what an interesting, weird thing I would have never known.
That is interesting. Weird. I just watched a Butler movie with Tom Green, and he didn't do that at all.
Hey, Nathaniel. Sorry. Scoot your head to the left. But
Oh, yeah, let me get over here. Sorry. Good.
There you go. I'm very much sort of an actor nerd. So when I get a part, I do a lot of research, because not necessarily because I'm trying to like prove a point. It's because I actually enjoy it. It's fun for me to find out that butlers have to behave in this really weird way and do this thing with their hands. It's very odd. I love that stuff.
If you're playing pretend, like, get into it. I'm the same way. Like, that's, you're getting paid to do it, but it's still like you should have fun doing it.
And in your research, did you watch the Tom Green movie?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, he was kidding.
I was just joking. Yeah.
That was
Tom
like,
Green Butler movie. I don't know if that would be helpful.
did I do? Yes, I did. I definitely chose him over Michael Caine.
Yeah.
That's a really good.
Sorry.
The problem with watching and using Michael Caine as a study is you walk away talking like Michael Caine for the next couple days.
100%.
Michael
And
Caine.
more fascinated with how amazing he was than learning anything.
Hey, he's amazing. He's amazing. Like, he's like one of those people, like, you couldn't meet him for just a day. You'd have to spend a week just hearing him tell you about life of all, like, just, I don't know. I really respect the man, is where I'm going with that comment.
Yeah.
We're going to switch it up with the next movie, I think. Josh?
If you look on my Instagram, you can see a time lapse of that happening. That's 3.5 hours.
Wow. All right.
Like that. So this was another one. Same producers as those last two movies called me and said, we have this part. They were trying to cast a stunt guy to do it, and they couldn't find a stunt guy who could do as they said, none of their eyes are saying anything. And I was like, well, what's the part? And I read the script, and I was like, this guy is super fun. And I was like, I love this. This guy's a madman. But when I showed up, I didn't know we were going to do this. So I got the job. I showed up to do my makeup test, and they put me in a bald cap, and I was sitting there. So no teeth, no anything else, none of this. And I go, this is great. What a crazy idea. He's a bald guy. And they're like, oh, we're only half done. So by the time we were done assembling this, they walked me up. The first time was 4.5 hours. They walked me up to set, and the producers I'd worked with already on 2 or 3 movies at this point. And I walked up and I said, hello. And Steven, one of the producers, just stared at me and he goes, hi. And I was like, dude, it's Stryker. And he was like, what? Didn't recognize me at all. So it became really fun. And really, the thing about this one, though, the best story I have from this is there's a scene where I run down 2 hospital corridors in the hospital gown, and the director comes up to me and he goes, we'd already been working together for 3 days. And he goes, so, I don't think this guy runs like you. And I started laughing and he goes, what's so funny? I go, you think the way I look right now, the way I look, that I would just Bradley run down the hallway? And he goes, yeah. I go, turn the cameras on and let's see what happens. And he's like, what? I turned into like a monster going down the hallway. He's like, what the hell is this? And I was like, this is how this guy runs. And he was like, whoa, okay. I don't even know what I was talking. I was like, it was quite funny to me though, because he was right. His sort of thing was right. But for me, there was no way that this guy moves at all like I do. And it just became a really fun day because it was like I ran like it was like it almost looked like I forget what movie it is. It looked like I was a spider that was about to crawl the walls the way I was moving.
Nice. So this is a long way. You started off as a model, and this is a long way away from there. That's
Listen, I was never a successful model because this guy was always inside.
He was always waiting to get out. All right.
Yeah.
What do we got next, Josh? Psych.
Oh yeah, that was fun. I worked on that one with was Shameless. What's his name? He was the neighbor. He was on Reba for years. Anyway, I worked with this actor. I forget him and his wife's name. That job, the first thing I would say is that I got to go whitewater rafting just outside of Whistler, Canada. Sort of legitly, but not legitly. They put us in a river with whitewater. They put us in the thing. It was super safety conscious craziness. Had a really good time doing it. Doing that job. Howie, yes. And his wife's name, I think at the time, was Sarah Shahi or something like that. It was also a very well-known actor. I had auditioned for his part, but when she got cast in the guest lead of the episode, she said, I'll come do it, but we have a newborn baby, so I want my husband to play this other part.
Oh.
So then I got put into the third part.
So you got to do some whitewater rafting, which ties back into the John Voight thing. Deliverance.
100%.
Hopefully it's a better experience.
Funny John Voight's story is that I don't know if it's funny because I don't know how old he is now, 83 or something like that. He is so vital. He's still roughhousing. He's still trying to get it in. He's a very vital guy. I was a little bit surprised, right? And I'm a fan of I think he has a thing now. He's very known for his politics in today's world. But the truth of the matter is none of that comes up when we get into when you're working with somebody. And I just really liked the man. He was a very nice guy and he was very generous.
Again, he's another Hollywood legend. There's a lot of people's politics I don't like, but I still like them. I still respect them as long as their opinions are what they actually believe in. It's not just, hey, I'm on it. Yeah. Anyway,
100%.
What do we got next? Sorry, we try to avoid politics on here because there's so much out there, and I like the fact that he does too in real life.
Politics. I was saying that's just what he's known for, and the truth is he's just a really good. Yeah.
Oh, we got sorry.
One more. Supernatural.
Was Supernatural my first thing would see? I played two different parts, 5 or 7 years apart. Totally different characters. One of them got stabbed in the eye, and I forget what happened to the second one. You know what's interesting about my second role in Supernatural is that, do you guys know who Catherine Newton is?
I know the name.
She's in this new movie called Frankenstein something, or I don't know what it is. I don't know. It's
Lisa Frankenstein. Yeah, I was like, wait a minute, I know that. Yes, Lisa Frankenstein. That's out this year.
Lisa Frankenstein. She is Lisa Frankenstein. I worked on the second episode with her. She's been in Marvel movies now. She's become a huge name. And I think most people know this about this young woman, but in between takes, Jensen and her, right before lunch, they grabbed golf clubs and they were on a river in Vancouver and they went to hit golf balls into the river. And I'm like, what are you guys doing? And he's like, dude, come over here and watch this. And I'm like, what? That Catherine is, I don't know how tall she is, 5'6", 5'7". She can drive a golf ball 250 yards or something. She is a wild golfer. It's bonkers. It's insane how good she is at golf.
So don't golf with her. Got that.
Or super golf with her. She's on my team. It's Anne's daughter. Let's go.
Exactly.
Have a great one. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful night. Be safe out there. Treat each other well.